We have to remember that the way the legal system operates, that he who commits the damage or the tort must bring the relief or the remedy, and therefore it's not out of the ordinary that we would realize that when a legal insinuation was placed upon a child to induce them to believe that something which is false is true, someone would have to stand in for the responsibility to sign for, what did we say that the birth certificate issue was under the new UN handbook? Well, when we look at how they brought it about, identifying it for proof, it says that there is no internationally agreed definition of identity management. The term most commonly refers to the issuance of a proof or legal tender of identity to each individual. Well, if this is representation under the UN as a legal tender of identity given to the individual, then the individual should be able to use this as legal tender anywhere they go. So it should be able to be deposited, because the version that is on the birth certificate issue for legal tender identity, because you weren't born with money, and certainly you came into the world with nothing, you leave with nothing. So certainly this would have to be provided, because you could not have come into contact with money or been brought into an existence with money at birth, at least not on natural birth. That certainly wouldn't come out of you, come with you out of the womb of your mother. So therefore, the system, if it's requiring this legal child to be induced into a constructive fraud, insinuated by title by the state upon the child to accept, well, then they would have to bring them relief in some manner. So this document is now beginning to surface its ugly head in evil as basically the relief that's required, and they are absolutely required to accept it if it's deposited into the legal tender enforcement court. So if you haven't placed this into the docket, something very simply one could say is, I was issued a legal tender identity issuance to take care of all matters in this court, and it's already been deposited with the prosecutor. Is there anything further I need to do? But certainly we haven't been taught to think like this, because we've been institutionalized to walk in there blindly and not hold these lying fraudsters, this bar association of legal devils and vipers that Jesus called them. Woe unto ye lawyers, for you take away the key of knowledge. And there's many of them in Canada. There's many of them in the United States. There is a multitude of them all over the world. They're a den of vipers, and this is going to backfire on them, because fraud has remedy, and there is no statute of limitations to prevent you coming forward under fraud against them. But if you don't speak up, you don't provide, you don't do anything, and you walk in there to take the hit, what do you expect is going to happen? You walk into the court and you haven't made a deposit into the court. Well, then how is the bank, La Banque, going to deal with it without a deposit going in to the Crown prosecutor, the Crown clerk, and the Crown justice or judge in the matter? If he has no evidence and you were given it and you didn't deposit it in, this makes even the world worse on the whole idea on fiction. So yes, the fiction was given something to use to advance fiction, but people have not seen this, because Satan, being the master of deception, has definitely run a den of vipers to make sure that you would never see this. In fact, most of Satan's legal staff of bar lawyers don't know anything. I wouldn't have them sweep my floors in law or in the legal, let alone ever stand there to actually handle anything, because they don't know anything on average. So don't expect to find this knowledge sitting at a corner bar location of a lawyer where they would actually be practicing their evil art. They don't know anything, and so don't expect them to. It's you that needs to take the due diligence to understand what goes on, and you to direct them, because they are responsible, because they've taken on the duty, debt, and responsibility of lying, of thieving, of cheating, swindling, and everything that's involved in this system. So anyways, we hope that this video has, been more than enlightening, and we're not here to entertain you. So please understand this is not for entertainment purposes. This is for the understanding of truth. For when Luke 11, when it quotes Jesus' words, "Woe unto you lawyers, for you take away the key of knowledge," it would not be out of the ordinary that Matthew Henry's commentary first stated on a comment to that scripture of Jesus' words. It said, the lawyers own the debt of the company or the corporation. So they own it, it's theirs. You shouldn't be taking on the debt. They have basically issued this certificate, this proof of legal tender identity to each individual, and they had to give you something or it would never have been capable of you ever functioning in it, let alone basically being able to hold them against the wall to their fraud. So anyways, I hope this video has helped, and we'll see you in the next video.